Hey, welcome everybody to Creative Chat Cafe. Another Wednesday. We have been talking all month about social media. We're so excited that you are here because today we have a really great topic. For those of you who are just joining us, what we do here is we talk about how to create content to grow your business and generate clients. And so we have our girl Zeph and we have our girl Kim, and we have some really fun stuff to jump into today because I know a lot of us love to talk tools and tech.
Yeah, some of us.
Some of us. Some of us. I know Kim is a little apprehensive, but she has her way to deal with it. So she's going to share some of that with us today too. So make sure that you go ahead and tweet us out so that we can get some other people here joining us to learn about and talk about some of this fun stuff. So I guess before we get started, let's introduce ourselves. Zeph?
Whoop whoop! Hey everybody, I am Zeph Zan, and for some of you who know me here, I am the CFO, which is the Chief Flight Officer at entrepreneurs.com, and I work with speakers, business coaches, professional consultants, and also seminar leaders, service-based entrepreneurs, helping you boost engagements so that you can create more opportunities to get more clients using live videos. That explains why I'm here 3 times a week on Blab. Whether it's going away or not, I am here, people. So check my profile for more information about all the live shows where you can get details for the shows. But thank you for being here today. Boom.
Boom.
All right, so it's my turn, right? Okay,
Yep.
I'm Kim Kasparian, otherwise known as the Success Genie, because no matter what is going on in your life, drama, trauma, issues, tissues, whatever, I help you create the mindset to show up to success. And success is simple, and it is your birthright. So all the things we're going to learn, if it makes your eyes go like this, don't worry. I'm going to show you how to make it simple and say yes to your success.
Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop. All right, everybody. I am Kenya Halliburton of KenyaHalliburton.com. I'm a mom of 3 bouncing boys. And what I do as a hands-free content marketing strategist is I help women entrepreneurs with big ambitions and complicated lives create content to market and grow their businesses online. And some of what we're going to be talking about today is going to be hitting on that. So I'm excited.
We're in your wheelhouse today, Kenya.
Yay.
So I think when we picked this topic, because for the entire month of social media and for the next few months, we actually have very specific topics like Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram coming up with very, different guests coming on the show. So today we thought it would be cool for this is kind of the 4th show for the month of June. But the thing is, we have 5 Wednesdays this month, so we thought it would be cool to talk a little bit more about tech stuff that will help us create visual images for social media, awesome images, and it can be the simplest thing that you don't think about to the most complicated. I mean, we're not going geeky today or technical too much, but just to kind of share with everybody what you can use, because many people ask me, because I'm big on images. Like, that's the first thing everybody looks at when you look at social media posts, right? And you're like, oh, I love the images. But people also don't know how to create them. Sometimes it's, I just read an article like yesterday. It says, if you're a marketer right now, a 21st century marketer, you almost have to be a part-time designer, which is so true, right? Because you have
to be a part-time everything.
Yes, everything. But let's get started with what you use, Kenya. I mean, what do you use for your the
image stuff?
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit a lot of bit techie, and I have chosen to dive into Photoshop. And so I primarily use Photoshop to create my images. Which I know for some people is like, because the thing about Photoshop is it does have a learning curve. So most people that use Photoshop, are people who really want to get fancy and creative with whatever they're creating. So if that's you, Photoshop is cool. I would say it's not too hard to learn. There is a bit of a learning curve because if you're used to using photo editors and things that's like drag and drop and things like that, it takes a little bit to try to kind of get the feel. Because I remember when I first used Photoshop, I was just used to using WordPress. I mean, not WordPress. Microsoft Word to create images and all of that kind of stuff. And so I'm in there like trying to do stuff the same way that I do in like like drag.
I attempted to go in there and realize, okay, that's why we pay professionals. That's what I learned about Photoshop.
Yeah. So it takes a little bit of getting used to. But it's doable. So if that's something that you want to do, there's a site. I obviously you can Google it. You can do like YouTube and watch little tutorials to learn your way around there. Lynda.com, lynda.com is another site that you can use to teach yourself Photoshop if you are so inclined to use that. So
Kenya, can I be the coach, the business coach for a second?
Yeah.
If you are not a professional or your job does not make you money by learning how to be a techie, pay somebody.
Yeah.
Because I learned Photoshop for 3 hours. I gave it to my tech's girlfriend, and in 5 minutes, she made me the most beautiful picture that I was still struggling to figure out 3 hours later. So, but if you're in the business and this will open up a new profit center for you, or you're really geared for this, Photoshop, I can't say anything bad about Photoshop. It's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of use your time wisely, and I like Tina Valens in here mentioning about using wisely your time and how to use all the tools that you have, because sometimes the tools that you have is hiring somebody to do it for you. And I love that you mentioned.
And it's not always expensive. A lot of these young kids, you have them in your family, you have them a friend next door. They do this for fun, and then so you can do that. But then if there's something that you're really needing to do, and it takes you more than an hour, you can learn the hard way, like I did. But just what's going to take you 5 hours, take someone else 20. Pay them for the half hour.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What other tools do you use, Kenya?
For images, in terms of like using images in my, to actually create them, I use a stock photo service. So my favorite is Big Stock. Big Stock is, where you can go and buy it.
Bigstock.com.
Bigstock.com. There are a bunch of them out there. Again, these services cost money.
Right.
But there are a lot of free stock sites that I use as well. And one of them is called
Where did Kenya go? Kenya, come back in. She
probably clicked herself out. There's another one that's called 123RF Photos. 123RF. They're free and fee. So that's a good one. Well, Kenya's coming back. I use them a lot, and they're they have a lot of royalty free.
This is the one, right?
Yep. And then you can buy them for a credit, like for $1 or something.
Yep.
Kenya, what was yours? What was the one I use stock photo, and then I use 123RF.
Yeah, that's a good one. The one that I use is called Pexels, PEXELS.com. I just put that over there. That's one. There's another one. Hold on, let me make sure I don't do what I did before.
Pexels is great for this, guys. If you want stock images, that's what you use. You download them, and then you can search for your photos here, because our team uses this too. So photos, and then you will also have options to buy, right? So to buy the photos. So just to have a disclaimer here, we are just sharing the share just to kind of give this as a resource to you folks out there who are watching. This is nothing has to do with us monetizing from this. This is
Yeah, so just bookmark bookmark the links
Pixels.
that seem interesting to you. Pixbay is another one that's kind of like Pexels. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of free. I use a lot of free images from these sites too. But if you want more of a selection, then you can subscribe to one of the. Ooh, what's that?
I have no idea. Yeah. I think it was that website.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, but in terms of images, I heavily use Photoshop and, images that I take and, stock photos.
Yep. Stock photos. So, for some of you guys who are just joining in, the stock photos, Pixabay, Pexels, 1, 2, 3 RF, which you can buy. And then here is the big stock. As far as I think designing those images, so we talk about, sometimes we marketers have to actually be part-time designers. If you have the capability and time and you can do it quick, right? So I don't know how many of you use this, which is Canva. Can you put it in number 1 if you're using this? I mean, I love Canva. Do you use this, Kenya, Kim?
Yes.
Yeah, I use it for clients.
Yeah, and that's about the most. Like, I can barely do it myself, but I can do it. If I can stick to a basic, I can use it. And then, but it's a great thing for like my assistant to use. She uses it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And that's free and fee. You can actually buy a template for like $1.
Right.
So for some and change it. You can buy the template and change it. So that's sometimes what I do. I buy a template that I like, and then I change it to my specifications, because I really can't do something from scratch, like layer it.
Right.
But I'll use my pictures from my photographer. And that's something, if you guys want to do images, especially if you include yourself, and I know we have some photographers in the room, pay a good photographer in your area for some awesome headshots.
Yes.
It's worth the money.
Yes.
You don't want to be doing a Facebook, you don't want to be doing a phone, selfie shot for your marketing stuff. It's great for Facebook and casual stuff, but if you're going to make banners or do whatever you want to do on Facebook professionally, invest an hour in a photographer's time to do some headshots.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things, right, which is very big, and we don't talk about this often, is if we can actually get a photographer to take like really nice big whether it's the scenery or whatever, get them and then collaborate with them. Tina, maybe, who's in here, could probably talk a little bit about this. She has ideas of how she's collaborating with her clients, because this is one way I think we can probably use photographers. For instance, if you want big high pixel pictures and good quality, you will probably need to go find somebody to probably go do some shots with you, right? Because I think it's very important, especially although today is social media, but you might need some good shots for branding, whether it's you in your environment. Could be you sitting down. For me, I see myself sitting down at not only a computer, like 3 computers, right? And doing my media stuff. That kind of stuff probably needs a nice branded photo. You probably have to have the photographer for that. And I think I have a friend photographer who actually specializes in plants, flowers, landscaping. So if your business has that, you might want to buy I don't know how photographers price their images, but you can probably buy a dozen or a package and then customize, because you want royalty to that photo. So
and one of the things, because I haven't invested in a photographer yet, but one of the things you can do if you want personal images is I use my computer, and I use a program called UCam. I think the latest one is UCam 7, and you can take images of yourself, just simple ones like, with your background or what have you, with a nice webcam and some nice lighting. And, you can create some interim pictures if you can't afford to get the professional ones right yet. So that's another option too.
another thing I think that we can use. So I'm gonna go into the apps a little bit, and people, if you, I'm not a iOS user. I am an Android user, so I'll have to show you the Google Play. So you can really go. So think about this, right? Sometimes you want quick images that you can quickly turn into nice social media posts, and you can use apps like Pic Collage. There's so many things that you can use, like Photo Great Photo. You can just search them in your app store. There's so many that you can do, and they're all kind of integrated with whether it's
Yeah.
Facebook or Twitter. Mostly, like I use layouts. I think layouts for pictures for Instagram. I think I use that. So I use layouts for Instagram, and what this one right here. So when you actually download that into your phone or your tablet, you can take several pictures from your collection. Probably you didn't get a chance to put them in layouts when you want to post because you're at an event, you're taking pictures, snapping and all that stuff, right? But then you want to come back to those pictures later and probably glue them or stitch them together, and you can use an app like Layout for Instagram. And when you use Instagram, you have the opportunity to integrate or sync your account with Facebook and Twitter, and you can probably do multiple location posts. So when you do a layout, you post it out, say for instance, even though you're doing on Instagram, you put it out simultaneously to Facebook. So you will also have that copy of that layout, right? So here's an idea of how you can really create awesome visual posts without overthinking stuff. Like, we don't have the time, absolutely, but we can use all these apps and just put in the pictures that we want and make them personal. And I think from a social media point of view, many people relate to personal images.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've studied my Facebook insights. Every time I do a layout image from Instagram and I put it on my business page, they get one of the best ratings of all times because they're more personable. There's a story.
Yeah.
You humanize your brand. So
Yeah.
consider using your own pictures instead of stock photography. Of course, you will use stock photography. Maybe you do quotes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But use your own pictures.
I like that,
Yeah.
Jeff. I like that.
Oh, I can't hear Kim. Okay, right.
Oh.
What were you saying, Kim? You
Can
like
hear
that?
No, I like it. I like
Yeah.
it.
So, anybody else has any ideas? So, just now, let me see who is in here. Let me see here. Personal, yeah, visionary paper. You're absolutely right. I think sometimes when we go out, your phone could be your best tool, right? We all have one of these, right? So, or even if you have camera, sometimes you can't do it immediately because you think like you're at an event, you're like on your phone all the time. People go like, what in the world is she doing? So take a lot of pictures, save them to the gallery of your phone, then come back and just like do a layout and download an app. And you know how it is. I don't know if you use this feature, but if you look at your phone, you probably will see you have an edit feature built in into your phone. So Samsung has it, all right? So I can take an image and then I can edit it. And I can edit
That's right. We can. Yeah, on the tablet. Duh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We can also do the you know how it changes to cartoon or it has that is that what you call it, the
Snapchat.
yeah, when it's sepia
Snapchat.
black and white, and then you can have like
sepia.
Yeah, like where's that coming from? Oh, yeah. That's all right. I'm hearing like lawnmower in the back or something. Okay, all right. So yes, use your phone. There's a feature that you can actually change your images into newsprint, sepia color, black and white, vintage, just like you have those images on Instagram. You can do the same thing. The thing about, I think, creating awesome visual content, using I mean tools that help you create awesome visual content is it also has to be relatable or relevant to your branding. If you're that kind of brand, I think in one of the shows this past few weeks we talked about, if you're the kind of classic contemporary that has a black and white, then stay with the black and white. You make it really classic contemporary, you know. But at the end of the day, it has to come back to your branding. For me, for us and entrepreneurs, so we're vibrant, we're bold, we're dynamic. That means if somebody looks at our images, they don't fall asleep. You know what I mean? Boom, right? So that's basically how you should be thinking about creating awesome visual content for social media. Anybody else have any ideas or input to that, Kenya? Oh, you're muted.
I am, for some reason every Wednesday they do lawn stuff here, and so irritating. But no, I'm listening to you because I actually, for all my tech, I have not really embraced the apps with the phone. So, and I know that there are quite a lot of you know apps that you can use for images and that kind of thing. So I would like to know if any of you have any that you use. I think Lauren posted Pixlr.com. Lauren, is that an app for the phone, or is that like just a stock photo? But yeah, no, I mean, I think I personally love doing original images. They're easier and they get a lot more juice.
Yes, absolutely. I think so. I'm just going to give you all a glimpse into what my Canva looks like. So I don't know if you all do this a lot, but I have a template. So in creating awesome visual content for social media without overwhelming yourself, especially if you're starting out, you're a beginner, right? You're doing your own stuff and you're not hiring out just yet, right? So if you're using Canva, you can really optimize Canva to work for you by creating templates. I don't know why I'm not able to screen share, but let me see. Yeah, there you go. So here's an idea of what we do at our team. Can you see how many images that we create as templates? So basically, right, keep them in there, and whenever you want to use them, you can come back and do that. So here's an idea for us with the Creative Chat Cafe shows or our Momentum Tribe Mojo shows. We've already created the template for the entire month. So do it ahead of time. You create a template, and all you have to do is literally just go in there. It's not showing. There you go. Oops. The moment I put it up, it goes away. So basically, create a template that you can just go in. If you can't do it, you can always hire out and delegate it to a team member, right? So when you're ready, you have that template, just have somebody do that. So as you can see, these are our topics for July. We've created all the templates in here, right? And all we have to do later is just go ahead and, put it out there. That's a smart way of managing your visual content, because if you don't do that, you're creating every time. And Canva, if you do the upgraded version, which is like $10 a month, which is really inexpensive, you get to save your fonts, you get to save your colors, you get to save your branding entirely, so you can just copy to every image that you do. Does anybody else like
I like that.
just crazy managing that? Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah, and I do something similar with Photoshop. You're muted.
Kim, you're muted.
If you guys can't do this as well as Zeph and Kenya can, Fiverr is a wonderful website. I did not know, like for $5, they can make you a professional graphic of anything, a header, Facebook post, anything. So after spending 3 hours on Canva and going, oh my God, I can't do this, I found Fiverr, and for $15, I got 3 things that I love that I could use over, and you can get a file where you can use it over and over again too. You pay a little extra and they'll give you the file that you can change.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest things for all of us to know, would love right now, whoever has any ideas in using awesome visual tools, come on into the seat, and I want to get tips. I mean, it doesn't have to be long. You don't have to be long in the seat, but just share your tips and ideas about how to create awesome visual content for social media using the apps or tools that you are currently using, because it's kind of important for this day and age, especially in marketing. And if you're doing social media marketing, if you do your analytics, what you will realize and what you will learn is images, posts that have images have higher clickable rates. So,
Yeah.
and higher sharing rates. So that's a good thing, right? Because you have to make that first impression.
Yeah.
So Tina,
Absolutely.
it's build a file, have an arsenal ready. Yes, Tina. Fist bump, boom, boom, right? I love that. Test the question if it worked. Oh, okay. So basically, that's, I think, some of the things that I'm doing. I don't know if anybody else uses any other tools. Back to what you said, Kenya, I love the fact that to humanize our brand people, take your own pictures,
Yes.
especially
Yeah.
if you out somewhere, right? And you're at an event, if it is branded to what you do. Here's an example. For us, I love to do networking. I love to meet people. So when I go to a networking event, I meet people, I take pictures. Silly pictures, yeah, that's fine, but take pictures. Then you can probably, here's an idea, put quotes that mean a lot to you, and put that, and then share it out on your Facebook page. That's a
Mhm.
great connect and humanize the brand. I can't beat the you can't beat the original pictures. Any other
Yeah.
tips, Kenya, that you use?
I do. Give me a second because I'm trying to find something and I can't remember what it's called. Cause, but there's a cool little tool that I've used. I don't use it that often. But while I look for it, I do want to make a point about what Kim said about Fiverr.
Yes.
Um, when you go to have someone create images for you, there are a couple of things. If you can have somebody create your image for you and set it up and use that as a template,
Mm-hmm.
and use Canva or something like that, like have somebody get you started with something that's really nice and quality. And if you do that, I just have to let you guys know to make sure that you purchase the source files.
Yes.
Um, Make sure you purchase the source files, which means that you get the working copy that they're actually using to create the image, so that you can, like, change the
Yeah.
wording or
There's
change.
enough charge for that, but yes, it's
Yeah,
well worth it.
yeah. I just wanted to make that point because sometimes, it's great to have an image, but I always like, even if you feel like you're not going to do it yourself, and maybe later on you bring someone else on to take it over or whatever, it's just always good to have the source files,
Yeah.
so that you don't,
Especially.
go ahead.
I'm reading what some of the chats here. Tina saying invest in invest in a professional portraits of you. You're worth it. Absolutely, I agree. I've had work done with a professional photographer for my most recent headshot, and I think yes, you do have to, at a time when you're ready, in fact, especially, you have to invest, because if you're growing, right, you need more pictures, especially if you're a speaker, you're a professional consultant, somebody, if you're going out there to speak or probably present, somebody's going to ask for your headshot. So have a
Yeah,
great shot, right? That represents your element. Sometimes when we take it, even though they're on your phones and stuff like that, the pictures can be pixelated. So if they were to go to print, it will not work. So you'll definitely need to work with a professional photographer for your headshots, the one that you'll be using for speaking engagements, for formal events. They will
yeah,
actually ask you for it, because they'll say, we want to do a print or whatever, then they'll have it. Absolutely. Relay that .com, no, not yet. Maybe I'll put that up. So relay that is also another stock photography. Let me just put that on screen. Relay that.
it's driving me crazy. I'm trying to find this thing.
All right, so let me put that up and see if, graphics that design themselves. Ooh, never heard of this. Would you like to jump in and tell us a little bit about this? Graphics
Sounds
that,
fun.
I know. Is that cool? So it says, just at you, you have something worth sharing, backed by the hustle and passion to change life. Oh, that's pretty cool. It almost looks at a glance like Canva. So you can create, schedule. Wow.
Wow.
Kenya,
You know, I love that.
we all love that. We can schedule, cool, engage. And
who is this? Which website is this?
It's called Relay That. So Ben
Okay.
Requena, I hope I'm saying that your name right. But Ben mentioned that relaythat.com is an image creation app by Craig Carpenter. Oh yeah, Craig Carpenter is he's a regular here on Blab.
Nice.
Cool, guys.
I love it.
That looks good
Very
and
nice.
awesome. So here you go. Here's another option. Then Visionary Paper says Relay That is intuitive, so it makes it for you. Oh, pretty cool. We so need to find out, right? So here's the thing. I love apps or tools that can help us create images efficiently and effectively. When I say efficiently, without too much work, just like what Kim was saying. If it's more than you can handle, probably the best thing is just go to Fiverr and hire somebody. Of course, you may not get the best. Sometimes you're lucky. You need to research or ask for referrals or take a look at their recommendations and see what actually is who actually would be a better fit for you and what you want to do, because Fiverr is just like eBay for freelancers. So you kind of have to go through a little bit and do a little bit of research and find out from your friends, from your network, who has used a Fiverr. So one of my interns, so I'm gonna kind of share a little bit of a story about how I also use these opportunities to help my interns start their own business. Currently, we have a graphic designer intern who has done a great job with the images for entrepreneurs that soar, and I've actually encouraged her. I told her, go to Fiverr, or maybe you can go to Upwork and become a freelancer, and that's what she's going to start doing. So I'm very proud of her. So she's her internship. But the thing is that if you can find people who you can trust on your designs, for simple designs, $5, you can't expect a lot, but sometimes you'll find really great ones. I think for quick social media post images, if you don't want to do it, just hire somebody to do it. You can probably find, hey, can you do me 30 pictures for X amount of dollars, and see what the packages are. Probably they have packages, then it's worth the time. Yep.
Yeah, that little bit of investment, even if it's $50, if all you have is $50,
right,
somebody will be willing to help you to do something.
Visionary Paper says, yes, as a designer, you have to really dig through Fiverr. Absolutely. Because, especially for me, because I have interns, I'm blessed in that way, but I've used Fiverr in the past. Sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's a miss. But if I want something quick, I too coming into that, relationship for $5, I know I may have to tell them more than 3 times a little bit as to what but
they're willing to do it though. They're willing to do it. They'll give you a couple revisions, and for $5, most graphic artists are anywhere from $50 to $150 per hour. So to take a chance for $5, it's not that big of a deal, especially if you don't have a good graphic artist. Like, I have people that if I need something really done well, I know who I'm going to, and I'll pay the money. But you don't want to pay an hour worth of work for just a Facebook post. It's not a good, for your headshot or for your header, for your website. Yeah, you invest in that. But if you just want something quick on the go, you're right. You should always look, and they give you a reviewer on Fiverr. They tell you the people how they like the work or not. So you want somebody with a high approval rating. But for $5 to give it a shot.
Yeah. And this is where I think, systems come in too. You create a budget. So if like you're going to do one picture quote a week or whatever, you just set up your budget to say, okay, I'm going to need, pay $20 to get 4 images, and just do it like that. So, create some sort of flow. So it's just not like randomly, okay, I'm paying $5 for this one image, and you know what I mean? Like, create a flow so that you can actually make whatever your visual social media strategy is work for you.
Yeah, Absolutely. And I think many people, right? So it was funny yesterday. I had a show, my SZAF show on Tuesday night, and I had the topic was, or the title of the show was live video management. So if we were to talk a little bit about visual content or management, you have to think about what is your process. Ah, can you hear the word process now? Because you know I'm a process gal, woo woo, right? Because I love
Yep.
to talk about process because this is when it becomes overwhelming. And y'all know I love to say download to upload, boom, right? Because if you don't download to upload and understand that you have a lot of logistics to take care of, if whether you're doing yourself
Yes.
or you're hiring out, you have to do some sort of a, I would say, groundwork to have your visual content management. Because when we say visual content management, it's not only the social media post images, we're talking about for your blogs, for your website, flyers,
Yeah.
business cards, blah blah blah, right? That's a lot. But if you don't have a process, an example for process for creating the visual content for social media is having a template. That is so as basic as that. Do you know if you don't create a template, how overwhelming it could be, especially if you have more than one social network, and especially also if you have a group that you actually manage.
Yeah.
Facebook group, then you probably want to create two sets of templates, right? Because one for your page. Do you see where this is going? If you don't have
Yeah.
visual content management process, not only process, you have to build a system, because a system includes like, okay, now you've created images. What do you do next? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also look into the analytics of your images. What work, what shares, not only what works or what is being shared, when's the best time to post them, or when's the best time to get the best clickable rates, right? Duh. So
Yeah.
I love when we talk about things like this. Oh, okay, here's the apps and tools to create your awesome visual content, but we're not also thinking about the logistics. So we're giving
Yep.
some logistics, we're laying out some of the logistics for you, so you can create some sort of a process for you, so that you're not throwing up doing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's the first thing you should do. Even if you don't start off with a lot of work, but if you can create that plan, you'll be so far ahead of the game.
Visionary paper, yes, come on in, come on in. I would love to hear what what you actually do for your own business. I'm going to take a look at you. Create beautiful paper, connect with fire with great design. You must be a designer, so you can probably
Yeah.
use tips. Whoop whoop. So here she comes. Yay! Hey, Lauren.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hey.
Thank
Good
you. Thank you
morning.
for tuning in.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. This is awesome. Like I am a visual branding designer and also a stationery designer. So this is like, it's my love.
I love stationaries. Back in those days, I would go to stores and just buy stationery. They still sit.
Yes.
This a lot, and I'm
So yeah, definitely that's like my thing. So I'm here. I was doing stuff with my kids and getting into my work zone. But then I heard about it, so I'm like, okay, I need to hop on this because I love this stuff. This is like my
Yeah.
But
or tools, Lauren, that you are currently using that you think would be effective or easy enough for the viewers to use to
For
create?
people like me. For people like me.
yeah, there is several tools that I know of. And I can place a whole list of stuff because I know of a lot of them. Yes, definitely Canva.com is great. PicMonkey.com
Oh yeah.
is also
Yeah, on that
awesome.
one.
There's also Pixlr.com. That's Pixlr.com. Befunky.com. That's also that's a really good tool. It has a lot of stuff for Facebook ads. Their Facebook ads is on point. And they offer a lot of different templates that you can just, quickly just in and out and get that done. There's also one more that I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, and I can't because I have so much. I have
That's
a long list I have a long list, but for me personally, I use Photoshop because that's the entire scope. And eventually, if you have to, for me personally, and this is something I'm gonna actually put out on my blog this week, you have three choices when it comes to design. You can either do it yourself, you can hire a graphic designer, or you can hire somebody like myself that's a visual branding designer, where I would take you from beginning to end and have you have the tools and templates and kind of walk you through your entire brand
Yeah.
from beginning to finish. When you deal with someone that's on Fiverr or something like that, I always say to have your content first,
Yes.
create all of your content first, right? And then also have like a branding guide so
Yeah.
that you have a some rules and regulations to let them know,
Yes.
okay, this don't do this with my brand.
Yes, because
Yeah, yeah.
right, that
Parameters.
so key, right? So Kim talked earlier about go to Fiverr, yes, and delegate, and I agree. If you cannot do it,
Oh, no, but you have to create a scope. This is what you have to put it in a box. They're not professional designers giving. Yeah, that's why you pay them hourly. Yes,
Right.
that's
not only that, but think about this. What did I say earlier? I said you still have to do the groundwork because you need to know what you want, right? You need to have a vision of your brand because if you can't communicate that to the designer, right, they will have an idea, but it'll take a longer time for them to deliver your vision. So be
Yeah.
prepared coming into your communication, because if you can't paint a picture, oh, I need green walls, or imagine if you're talking to an interior
yeah.
designer.
You have to know. It's you got That's what you bring up the point is you cannot get a $300 job done for $5.
Right.
That's not if you don't. If you have a logo, if you have a picture, if you know what you want, and it's just you want someone to put it together a certain way, that's Fiverr. If you need to talk about strategy, branding,
Correct.
I don't know what look I should have. No, that's you have to invest in. Absolutely.
And I think here's another thing, right? If you're just getting started, you do not know what your logo would look like, what your colors or your font would look like. Well, invest in, if you cannot make the, later investments, you make that first investment, get your designer to help you get started, get you set up, right? And then if that good first investment will help you set up for all the other things that you will be doing, whether you're doing yourself or you're hiring out to your interns or your other team members that you've hired, you actually have a structure. We talk about no panties over pants, right? No panties over people, right? So get that taken care of. You have to do that groundwork. Work with a designer if you have to. Have them set you up. They'll set you up on fonts, on colors, on primary elements of your images. Have them get you set up, and then down the line, but you want to go and work with Canva, you already have templates. Lauren, I think it'll also be a great idea, like if designers that you can help people like me, Kim, and maybe Kenya. Or Kenya, we won't call Kenya in, but because she's very geeky and tacky.
You can count me in. You can count me in.
Here's the idea, right? As designer, I think sometimes I want my designer, and I know I've worked this with my intern, I'll say, just go set it up for me so that next time I want to use the template in Canva, I already have it. Right? So here's a flyer for Creative Chat Cafe. Here's a flyer for the other show. Here's a flyer for blah, blah, blah. Have the person set it up for you and then go and do it yourself weekly. All you have to do is just change certain things.
Yeah.
That's a great way. That's a process. This is what I'm talking about, right? You want to create awesome visual content for social media, but you probably do not have the budget, but you can probably have a start-up budget, hire a designer to have you set up, right? And then you can do your own thing. Right? Yes. That is very important, I think.
And if you say a startup, you can get quotes from like 3 to 5 different people. And, back in the day when I was starting my company, I wasn't ready to do it, but I wanted to find out. I had no idea what it cost. I went to a designer, and it turned out she needed my services too. So we just exchanged, you know what I mean? So don't be afraid to ask. Don't ask or not ask based on your pocketbook. Ask or don't ask based on what your business needs. You'll be surprised. Your needs are always met.
Yes, absolutely. I love what Tina says, like having a recipe all ready for all ingredients. Absolutely. I love that. I love the pre-ready-made the templates. Kenya loves the automation. Can you see our different things that the different backgrounds we come from? Can just like, I
just know how to find good people. It's all right. Don't worry. I know how to find the people. I found you guys.
Yeah.
I found out you.
And that's a skill. That's a very important skill to have too.
Now, be sure to connect with Lauren if I'm pointing right. So if Lauren, you're at Visionary Paper, that's how people can connect with you.
Yes, also at visionarystationery.com.
Nice.
Um,
Excellent.
but yeah, definitely, I definitely love the fact because that's essentially what I do, and also I'm going to be teaching very soon is creating your own templates, starting from scratch, going from your
Yes.
mood board, starting from your mood board and moving from your branding board, and then going from there into just creating templates after templates after templates so that you're not reinventing the wheel over and over again so that you can get it out there until to the point where you could actually hire someone to be your full-time graphic designer on your team.
Right.
Yes.
Valerie Lawson, who is a VC law, just reached out to you there in the live chat. Lauren, how can I contact you? So, Lauren, if you could just drop in your link in there, and then probably you both can connect. And I think, Valerie, you can also follow Lauren using her Twitter handle.
Yeah.
You can see on the screen, which
Yeah.
is Visionary Paper. That's always the easiest way, I think, because we all create our accounts in Blab here using our Twitter account. So definitely do that and drop in your website too, Lauren, just in case. So yeah, that's I think some of the things that we all need to think about when whether we're using apps or other tools to create awesome visual content for social media. I always love to touch a little bit about the process because you can have all this sexy stuff and all, but you don't have the foundation, which is how do you start it off, right? You got to do that ground when awesome stuff. Start somewhere, and then you can either do it yourself or you can hire it out, right? And then don't be worried about other stuff. Have the
And
Mhm.
you know what I think we should do, Kenya, would be a great thing for you to do as a thing to put on the site is your basic wardrobe for graphics. Like
Oh, that would be awesome.
that would
Yeah. You can put together a resource.
yeah. Here's what we do. Why don't you all who wants that resource, all right, come join us in our Momentum Tribe. I'm going to drop in our information right here in the live chat. Our tribe has been very active where we put up all our post-show extras, exclusives, like for instance, what we're talking to do here, whether it's a
Mhm.
swipe file or it's a document, whatever, or resource reference, put it join us in the Momentum Tribe. I just put in the website there. Just
yeah.
join us there,
Kenya,
and we
think
will actually have all that information for you in the file section in our group. So hopefully
yeah.
we'll put it in there. Anybody else want to jump in or have any other tips or ideas? Because the big thing about social media right now is having visual content. That is so big because we're all fighting for eyeballs, right?
Yeah.
Eyeballs, right? We're all fighting for eyeballs, and suddenly like, oh my God, we do want to have, images that relate to our brand, are humanizing, right?
Yes.
Don't forget, take pictures of your own because those pictures reflect who you are and your brand. Anything else anybody wants to add? So we talked about Canva, we talked about Pexel, right? Kenya, that was the word, Pexel.
Pexels.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and
Photoshop,
then
PicMonkey.
about relate that. You all know Craig Carpenter. He is here in the Lab community. Craig does that relaythat.com and big the 123RF. And we'll have all this information in our group.
Oh, your what did you do? The Google,
Yeah,
the
the Instagram.
Instagram layout.
Oh,
So basically, when it comes to apps, people go into. So here's the tricky thing about the apps, right? Because you don't want to be downloading too many apps. Pick one that works for you, not all, right? Because, like I said, at the end of the day, your phone may even come with editing, cropping features that you probably didn't realize. Like, you know how you have Instagram images, you can do all the different, what do you call that, effect, right? You have
Yeah.
that on your phone too. If you, I mean, at least for me, the Samsung has those features built in. So you can always take quick pictures wherever you are, edit them up, whether you put frames or you put text stickers, whatever, and put it out in social media. The thing is efficient, easy, without too much, overthink. But the classier or the more, I would say, refined or refined images, you might have to work with a professional.
yes. I just posted one link up there too. It's Adobe Spark. It was once Adobe Post, but now they added a lot of stuff to it. So their best feature that Adobe Spark has now is animated videos. So you can create, you can take your own, photos or what have you, and create like a little animated feature and put it on Instagram or Facebook or what have you. And that's a really
Yeah.
great tool as well. So I love that for Adobe Spark. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
I love, so for even for me, Adobe is like, oh, what, right? So that's
Adobe, no, Adobe's the top. If you really want to learn how to do it right, Adobe is the way to go.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're, if you know that you have a good learning curve, I'm just going to mute you a little bit here, Lori, because you have the background. So if you actually have, what should I say, the technical capability, go ahead and use Adobe, because then, you can do a lot of fancy stuff. But we're talking about social media content today, meaning something that you could use on your social media pages, whether it's social networks on Google Plus, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, right? Sometimes you do not need a lot of overthinking for these images. You want quick, fast, efficient, but also relevant. So maybe, you need something simpler like Canva. So start with Canva. For me, I've done a lot of our images on Canva just because I already know what my branding is like, right? Because
Yeah.
you have templates, tons of templates. But if you
Yeah.
want to go a step further and you're awesome at doing that, you need to do a little bit more. So use Adobe. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the way. Yeah. Anything
yeah,
else? Any other suggestion? Um, Definitely for headshots. Great headshots. Work with a professional
Yeah,
photographer.
absolutely.
You know, and then see how you like it. And then if you want to buy packages of images, you find people, photographers that offer that, and you can use that in your social media posts. So anybody else has any questions or probably want to jump in or
yeah.
got tips, ideas? Um, yeah, so I'm gonna drop in next week's show, people. This is that's the last show of the month is usually the SC Chat Cafe. So the entire month of June we've been talking about social media. So I'm gonna drop that in. That's the link. Go ahead and subscribe, everybody. And the next show is SC Chat Cafe, using social media to grow your business. So we've taken the entire month's conversation because in 1 hour show we can't possibly do too much, right? So here's your opportunity to come back and kind of do some sort of a mind mapping, brainstorming, ask questions. So that's going to be the link for next week's show, same time, Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern. And we are here. Me, Kenya, and Kim are here to answer your questions about how to use social media to grow your business. It's a huge topic. So
Yes, that's a huge. We might need 2 shows for that.
yes. So that's why even though we close out the month with a SC Chat Cafe, but there's always going to be conversations in our community. So be sure to join our community so that you can always continue to have the post-show conversations for extra exclusives, for swipe files and all that stuff. Be sure to, join us right there. I just put it in the link. Hey, my friend Alan Smith, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. So other than that, everybody, if you want to see all the shows that I produce, I'm going to also drop in the link right in here. You can get, how it is, Blab has been crazy a little bit. So sometimes the scheduled shows do not show on our profiles. So we've created a way for you to get all that information. So you would go to where I dropped in bit.ly Soar TV Live. You will go to that link. You'll get all our show listing and the schedule for the 30 days. Yeah, I do plan ahead, people. So be sure to check that link right there. And that's my process. Anybody else has any questions or any comments? Because I think it would be so awesome. This is a great topic. Next week will be bigger because the conversation will be how do you social media business, right?
Lauren, do you have anything to say? Closing comments on the conversation that you were part of?
Oh, thank you so much for letting me jump in and sharing everything that I know about, design and so forth. Just, like you said, it's not as, hard to create great graphics and great visuals, but it all starts out with your content and your story. So if you have a great story to share, just tap into who you are and just let the visuals from there kind of tell your story, basically.
Awesome.
Awesome. All right.
Love it.
I'm gonna just kind of recap what we talked about today is basically Lauren, I'm gonna just X you out. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Lauren.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So, again, I think some of the to recap what we talked earlier today is I think number one, when we want to use apps and tools to create awesome visual content, social media, one takeaway, big takeaway, start with somewhere in the groundwork, right? Do the groundwork because whether you do it yourself or whether someday you're ready to hire and delegate this out, you will need to have some sort of a process or, a foundation because if you don't feel like doing it anymore, you're going to go like, here, Kim, here's my ABCs. You're just going to do exactly like this template, right? So it's easier for your teammate or your hired talent to deliver your vision, right? Because it's kind of important.
Absolutely.
I think number two is, I think don't forget to use original pictures that would highlight the elements of your human side, meaning if you're
Let
out
people,
there,
let people know you're doing.
yeah. And I think once Kim, you had asked me like, I don't know what pictures to put on my social media. I mean my social network, like my Facebook page. And you asked if personal images are going to be good. I said, yeah, as long as it's relevant to your branding. Here's an idea for us. Whether we do shows, I also love to go out networking. People do want to see who I network or hobnob with, right? So
Yeah, no, it's true. It's like, where's that? Where's that today? Yeah. Who's that hanging out with today?
Where's Waldo? Where's Kim? Where's Kenya? People want to know that because sometimes you're doing maybe a nonprofit work, right? You want to show that human side of you. Oh, that's a big piece. Trust me, if you're doing charity work or you're doing Relay for Life, any kind of those events
behind the scenes action.
Yeah. And then go to your analytics and take a look. If you don't believe us, take a look at that analytics for that image, and you'll see people will. More people view that because it's more humans. Because it's more humanized. So I think that's a very important thing too. And any number 3 and number 4, Kim and Kenya, you all want to contribute to the recap of the show?
I think. Go ahead, Kenya.
Well, I would just really reiterate what you said, and what we've been talking about is, know where you're going. Have a roadmap and be clear because, it doesn't matter whether you're creating it yourself, like you said, Zeph, or hiring somebody. You need to kind of know. And I've seen a lot of people waste a lot of money spinning their wheels, just doing stuff or hiring people to do stuff and not really being clear on what it is that you want. And even if you don't know what you want, you need to have some sort of idea of what your, like Lauren was talking about, what your brand is, what you're trying to communicate, before you jump into creating visuals for yourself or hiring people to do them for you. So I would just kind of drill that one home because I think it's really important.
Yeah, and I think especially for those of you wanting to use social media to engage subscribers or to get clients, that's a specific strategy. So, and then I would say template, basic wardrobe, black pants, black shoes, white shirt, some pop of color.
I love you said that in that analogy.
Okay, and there's a story my grandmother told me about when she started over with 3 kids and she had to start a job and they didn't have, she was like, and it helped me when I started out of college going, Graham, I got to buy a wardrobe and my wardrobe isn't, she goes, no, this is what you do. A skirt, a pair of pants, 3 shirts, and a blazer. And she went to explain to me how you could rinse it out or wash it and how, and on payday, you go buy another blazer or another pop of color. And she goes, that's how you don't go broke.
Yeah.
So it works with social media.
Oh my God. It. That's the biggest takeaway from there, people, right? We talk about process. We talk about having a template.
Gracie, that's Grandma Boss. Gracie. That's the original Gracie, Grandma Boss.
You can't beat Grandma. Work smart, not hard. Absolutely, Tina. So, as we talk about all this, setting it all up, we want to have all the sexy stuff, go back to the structure or the groundwork because we need to start there. All right. Have the basics, set it all up, and then you can use all these tools to create awesome visual content for social media. Be sure it's relevant to your branding, which is, I think, very important because you can be really funky also, but at the end of the day, if you want better viewing, Yeah, just be honest and see, just like we said, Kim, if you like to curse a lot and it's part of your brand, go ahead and do that.
There you go. Let it rip.
Absolutely. So I just want to say thank you all for joining us, and be sure to come back next week for our SC Chat Cafe episode. I'm going to put in the link right here. Subscribe to that. Ooh, where am I looking at it? Okay, I'm putting it right here in the live chat. Subscribe to that. It's SC Chat Cafe, using social media to grow your business. Bring your questions, and hopefully we'll see you in our tribe. And I'm going to put in the link here again. Be sure to tweet this out, people, and share this with your buddies in your tribe and your community, whatever you're calling them these days. We'll see you back next week, Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 4 p.m. London time. Woo! Can you imagine? I know my time zones. Woo!
You do.
I don't know what time it is on the East Coast. Good for you.
All right.
I don't know what time it is here.
I know. I have 14 time zones in my phone, so I can know when I wake up. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll see you next week again. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Hey, welcome everybody to Creative Chat Cafe.